Welcome back to the Gun Dungeon, guys. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. So I was out here yesterday putting some reps in with the Glock 29, and I have developed a load. Well, first off, I chose to use the 180 grain gold dot hand loads. I know it's a whole nother discussion, as my carry round. Well, I wanted to use a cheaper bullet to replicate that load that I could practice with in the Glock 29. So what I had was some 180 grain Berry's hybrid hollow points, and that's a plated bullet. I know the gold dot's plated as well, but I developed a load, came out here, started shooting with it, and I thought, man, I am sucking today. Doing horrible, just slinging shots everywhere. Man, today's definitely an off day. Went and got a different gun, came back, was shooting fine. So it wasn't necessarily me having an off day. I believe what it is a disagreement between the polygonal rifling and the Glock barrel, those plated bullets, and the velocities they're being pushed at. So just to confirm my suspicions, what I'm going to do is I've got 5 200 grain jacketed XTPs, so the jacketed shouldn't have any problem, and I've got 5 of those loaded in this mag. I'm going to shoot from a rest at a paper target. We'll get a control group, and then I'll shoot 5 of those 180 grain Berry hand loads, and let's see the difference. I could be completely wrong here, but we're going to figure it out together. All right, let's go take a look. All right, so that's the 200 grain XTP 5-shot group. That's just a hole in the paper right here. Probably 3-inch group, 3.5 probably, somewhere in there. Not terrific, but I mean, for a handgun at about 15 yards, it's not too shabby. I'm gonna replace this target. We'll load up 5 of the Berry's hybrids, and let's see how they do. Hopefully the wind will stop blowing the target so much. All right, so got 5 of the 180 grain Berry's hollow points, plated bullets loaded up, and let's put them on paper and see how they do. Light primer strike. That's odd, that's first. Let's see if it'll go off the second time. I can tell you from here, it's awful. Let's go look. Houston, we have a problem. Not only is the pattern just absolutely atrocious, but look at that. Look at that. Look at that. 3 of these 5, potentially 4, are keyholing. So it wasn't just me having a bad day. This load and this barrel are not good. Well, let's go to the reloading press. I'm going to try a few different things and let's see what we can do. So actually I decided before I go to the reloading press, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot a group with the 180 grain gold dots that I said I was gonna use as a carry round. Let's see how they do real quick before I head in there. I may have to change everything. Go take a look. Whoop. It looks like that load is also a no-go. The group was better, but as you can see, that's one shot. I put a new paper up for this. That one, and that one did not stabilize. So that's not going to be a good carry round. This is why you test stuff, guys. So I'm pretty disappointed that the gold dot isn't shooting well out of this gun. Now, is it the gun? Is it the load? Is it the polygonal rifling? Is it the velocities? There's a lot of variables at play here. I believe that the plated bullets and this barrel aren't getting along at these velocities. I know plated bullets tend to like lower velocities. I know you can just flat tear the plating plumb off at certain velocities, but I figured gold dots probably wouldn't have that issue, but apparently we do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go get the XDM, and it has conventional rifling, and we're gonna try the Berries hollow points and the gold dot hollow points and see if we can at least get the bullets to stabilize. If not, then I'm just going to have to allocate both of these bullets, the plated bullets, to lower velocities. Might as well make them 40 Smith & Wesson. I also have some cast polymer, the high-tech polymer coated bullets, some 200 grain and some 180 grain. So whenever I get to the reloading bench here in just a minute, I'm gonna play with those, come up with some loads. I'll probably load some mild ones and some hot ones just to see if we can get either to run out of the polygonal barrel. But I will say I've already ordered a KKM precision Glock 29 barrel to put in here because I'm really not happy with the way that the polygonal rifling is handling a lot of these loads that I really want to be able to use out of a 10mm. So let's go get the XDM real quick, shoot these two loads and see how they do, and then we'll get playing with the reload. All right, now I've got my XDM 10mm 4.5 inch. I've got 5 of the Berries 180 grains, same load we shot through the G29 that shot wild. Let's see how they do through this. Let's isolate it, whether it is a barrel issue with this round or if it's just this round is just a shitty load. Excuse my language. Let's go look. All right, so we got 4 shots right here and 1 over here. I'll be honest, it still looks like these two may be destabilizing a little bit. I don't know, guys. I'm gonna call that one inconclusive, and I'm gonna throw up another target and let's do that again. All right, so what I did here was I put a new paper target up, and I put about 6 staples in it to keep the paper target closer to the cardboard target, thinking maybe that the paper target sticking off of the cardboard a little bit was causing that keyhole looking entry. So we'll just eliminate that by, I crammed it on there, put 6 staples in it. The paper target is tight to the cardboard target, so we should be good to go. I'm gonna run 5 more of the 180 grain Berries out of the XDM. Let's see how it does. it was looking so good till about that fourth shot. All right, so there's 3. And that was the first 3 shots, and I was starting to get excited. That was the 4th shot, and that was the 5th shot. And that's definitely keyhole. This one looks like it may be a little bit as well, but the 3 that stabilize, hell, it's as good as you're gonna get. But clearly, these bullets are being pushed beyond their velocity threshold. So these loads are a no-go in both barrels. Now, let's try the 180 grain gold dot out of the XDM and see how that works. All right, guys, I've got 5 of the 180 grain Spear gold dots, hand loads, loaded in this mag, XDM. Let's see how they do. I center punched that. I'd never be able to do that again. Looks a lot better from here. So there's our 5 shots with the XDM and the 180 grain gold dots. All of those holes look really good. They look stable. And look at that first shot right there in the center. Never do that again. But good group. Looks like they're stabilizing just fine. So I'm gonna call that load good. The load is fine. It just doesn't like that Glock 29 barrel. Now the 180 grain berries, not so much. I'm not having any luck at all with those 180 grain berries hybrid hollow points in 40 cal. Okay guys, while you were waiting so patiently, I went in, hit the reloading press, and I think I have 2 loads worked up that will draw a conclusion for me. First off, I've got that 200 grain hard cast high-tech coated bullet. I know this is a good load, exact same powder charge, exact same bullet that I've shot out of the XDM quite a bit successfully. So I'm gonna try this through this Glock 29 with the polygonal rifling, and we'll see if it'll stabilize it. If it won't stabilize the 200 grain hard cast, we know there's no chance of it stabilizing 180 grain hard cast coated going even faster than these would be. So let's try this one first, see where it takes us. I was riding the slide on that one. I hate shooting from a rest. Let's go take a look. Now I could live with that. That's not too bad. This was probably me. These holes look like they're stabilized. Don't have any issues with that. So that's a plus. 200 grains, also going a little slower than the 180s. Let's try one more load. All right guys, so what I've got here is I've got some of the SIG 165 grain V crowns. This is a jacketed bullet, but this one's going to be screaming. Worked up to a max load of blue dot. Blue dot's kind of the powder for 10 millimeter for velocity, at least in my opinion. So these are max charge blue dot with 165 grain jacketed SIG V crown. Let's see if the velocities from these cause destabilization from the polygonally rifled barrel with these high velocities. Boy, that's got some muzzle blast. Let's take a look. All right, so there's our 5 shots with the 165 grain. Not the best group in the world at all. That's kind of ridiculous though, pushing those 165s that fast. Maybe a twist rate issue or throwing the groups wide, but if it wasn't for this one, it wouldn't be too bad. That may just be me, I don't know, it may be all right. But either way, we see the bullets all stabilized, so that's good. But now I gotta know, will the polygonally rifled barrel stabilize 180 grain coated, was it the high-tech polymer coating? I gotta know. Back to the reloading bench. We'll shoot one more load. All right, guys. We've got the 180 grain coated hard cast 40 cal bullet loaded in this 10mm. This is loaded with a max charge of blue dot, just like the other 180 grain projectiles that we have used so far. Let's load them up, see how they do. Got a new target pasted up. Let's check out the stability and accuracy of this load. I promise this is the last one. Let's go take a look. All right, so it looks like it stabilized them at least a little better at this distance. This hole, a little suspect. Looks like maybe this one's favoring, like the tail was this way some. That could just be the paper though, I'm not sure, but it definitely did a lot better than the 180 grain Berry's hybrid hollow points. Well, in conclusion, I believe I will be much better served by swapping this barrel out. We know that the 200 grain bullets stabilize just fine from this. The 180 grain polymer coated bullets, I think a couple holes were suspect. I'll let you all decide. I'm probably not going to try to load up a bunch to shoot through this barrel. I just don't think the group was horrible. A little bit wonky on the holes, so I'm not going to call that load good. The 180 grain gold dots didn't do too great out of this barrel either. And that's the load that I really want to carry because that bullet performs well and I like it. So the KKM barrel's definitely going in this gun. I think we saw that the heavier the bullet, the better off you are because the velocities are lower as far as stability. The 200 grain hard cast coated didn't have any problems at all out of this thing, I don't think. The 165 jacketed did well. The group wasn't great. That could have been just me, don't know. But those 180 grain berries, man, so far they haven't done anything good. They haven't expanded in gel. Matter of fact, that was one of the bullets that came back and hit me in the head, unexpanded, pushed really fast. Should have had every opportunity in the world to expand. No denim, nothing. So it hasn't done that. It won't stabilize in the Glock barrel. Hell, it didn't do good in the XDM barrel. I know I'm pushing them over 1,200 feet a second. I didn't run the chronograph today because if you're curious about the velocities, go back and look at the other video I did, the Glock 29 performance video. I did do a bunch of chronograph work in it, and that 180 grain Berry's bullet was in that one, so you can get actual velocities from that video if you're curious about the true velocities. But they're definitely over 1,200 feet a second. I know plateds aren't really designed for that, but really the 180 grain Berry's hybrid hollow point and a 10mm, in my opinion, is no-go unless you're going to push it at 40 Smith & Wesson velocities and you're only going to use it for plinking or shooting steel or targets, never in a defensive manner. If it won't expand at 10mm velocities and won't stabilize at 10mm velocities, it may stabilize at 40 cal velocities, but it's definitely not going to expand, at least not reliably. So yeah, I think in conclusion, I'm going to be better served using a conventionally rifled barrel, just so that I can get my gold dots to work the way that I want them to out of this gun. Once I get that barrel, I'm definitely going to test them and make sure. But out of the XDM, they shot great. There was no problems with those. So I don't expect out of a shorter barrel going a little slower with conventional rifling, I don't expect any different performance. You're not going to be pushing them any faster than we did out of the XDM, so the plating won't be an issue with that. So yeah, that's all I've got for today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was a really nerdy video and kind of long and drawn out, but if you liked it, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. And until next time, guys, stay tuned.